episode 105, presented by Envisage Sport. Tonight we have President and CEO of Bare Knuckle FC, David Feldman. Let's do it. Hello, folks. How are you? Welcome back to episode 105 of FLA Exposure, sponsored by our friends at Envisage MMA, Envisage Sport, and Fusion CBD products. Check them out online at envisagemma.com and, of course, at fusioncbdproducts.com. Fuel up, feel better afterwards. Let's get right into it, folks. We don't got a shit ton of time here, but I want to get into it really quick with a guy who I've looked up to a lot, being a promoter myself up in Canada. This is a guy who's been at it for a long time, almost a decade now, trudging through, breaking barriers. He's a leader in the promoter world. He's doing fantastic things. He's the president, the CEO of Bare Knuckle FC, located all over the United States, based out of Philadelphia, I believe he's located in, and just an absolute guy, a pleasure to deal with, and someone, like I said, I look up to a lot, and he's innovating a whole new sport and developing a whole new martial art, and it's really impressive to see. So I guess without further ado, let's bring him on, folks. Mr. David Feldman.
Hey, what's going on, Derek?
Awesome. How you doing, sir?
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me.
No, really, super honored to have you. It's, again, like I said, I mean all that I said. You know what? I've been at this for a long time too, and I look at people like yourself as that's how I keep going. I'm like, I can make it. This can happen.
That's crazy. I mean, 28 states said no to me. Slew of other things got in our way. It was a crazy ride, but we're here. I mean, it's cliche to say, if you're doing it, if you try as hard as you can and you don't listen to the word no, you can do anything in the world you want to do. But it's the truth. I mean, it really truly is. If you really have a real vision that isn't completely off the wall and you think it can work and you work your ass off, man, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm on here interviewing fighters, and I'm like asking fighters, do you have any advice for other fighters? But that's why for me it's so important to talk to people like yourself, because that's who I can talk to fighters all day, but I'm not going to get, I need to know what the fighter wants, and I need to learn. The fighter's obviously important, but I need to learn off other promoters who are doing it right at a bigger level. And to have the chance to talk to you, man, I really appreciate it. So it's interesting in our sport how you got to get, like, you have to have such thick skin. Was that something that, like you took a lot of interesting heat coming off when this whole thing kind of started? How did you deal with it all?
I took a lot of heat getting into it, and as it started, and even now, I mean, even today, people make derogatory comments, but it is what it is. I mean, I hate to use the word hater, but at the end of the day, if you don't have haters, you're not succeeding. Really.
Yeah.
Everybody loves you, you're not doing anything right. It's just, it's good and bad. I mean, you take the good with the bad. You really do, and you're going to get a lot of bad comments and a lot of people saying nasty things. And why? It's because they couldn't do what they wanted to do in life, and what they tried to do just didn't work for them. But I grew up. I had a really messed up childhood. I grew up. My mother was paralyzed, really beat up really bad by some guy.
Oh, wow.
In a wheelchair for my whole childhood. My dad was a training fighter. Single dad, we just did our thing, and we learned how to navigate and get through life, and a lot of other things. I actually have a book and a movie being worked on right now, which I just got the news last week, which is fantastic, and all that stuff will be in it. It was a crazy ride. It was a lot of things getting here, and we have a long way to go. I mean, This is the beginning, and it's getting harder. It's getting harder as it goes. It's not getting any easier. It's getting a lot harder because there's a lot more people trying not to see us succeed. Now it's not the regular guy on the street that's going, what are these guys doing? Now it's the big dogs. It's the bigger organizations that don't want to see us there. But you know what? We don't know how to quit, and we're not going to quit. We're going to keep moving, and I think we're putting on a great product. I think the fans love it. It's fun. It's fast. It's exciting. It's it's new, and we treat the fighters great.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Everything you just said is exactly what I think everybody thinks. You never hear a bad word about yourself. You never hear a bad word about the promotion, the payment. The proof's in the pudding, really. And that's like, it's funny that you say that, the haters, it's important. Like, if you don't have them, you're not succeeding. But it's just like, for real, come on, like, let everybody have their choice on what they want to do, right? But MMA has its place, and I think bare knuckle, it has a huge place, and I think it draws a lot, because, like, I'm a grappling guy, but I certainly understand. Like, I've done lots of grappling events and sat there beside it, and I'm like, what in the fuck is going? Like, this is boring. like to watch from a fan spectator split. So at the end of the day, it's entertainment, and what you're putting on is the mecca.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's the real main thing. If you ever get a chance, if we'll talk some other time about bringing it up to where you're at, and hopefully we can get that thing legalized. But this is what does it all. Live in attendance is that noise.
Yeah.
When you hear that noise, it's like something you've never heard in a live sporting event. You're like, holy crap, what is this thing? And it's so exciting. And, you don't have to, I don't have to have when they say I don't have the best fighters, I think I got a lot of the best fighters around, because these guys can fight. Really, they can fight. They're skilled. They have a lot of heart, and they're fighting in the purest form that there is. And when people say that, some guy might be, 7 wins and 5 losses in MMA, well, maybe he wasn't a good grappler, but we put on great fights. We put on great fights. Our guys are most of the time very, very evenly matched, and we just put on sensational fights. That's what we pride ourselves on. We're not an organization let's build this guy up. Let's give them all bums. We're going to try to build you up if you have a great personality and you can fight. But at the same time, each and every time, you never know what's going to happen. We're actually we're talking about who's going to be Paige Van Zant's first opponent, and we're going over a lot of different names. And I'm like, look, and they're like, this guy can't really, or this girl should be an easy fight. And I'm like, don't forget, this is bare knuckle. It's not MMA. So let's make sure, because we have to get our feet wet first. So I can't go the killer, and then we'll build some other things. But that being said, just I love it. I'm not only, you ever see Hair Club for Men? I'm not only the client. I'm not only the president, but I'm a fan. I love this shit, man.
But that's why it's successful. And not only that, you've spent a lot of time in the ring. You've boxed professionally. You've been in the sport. Like you said, your dad trained fighters. You've been at this game a hell of a long time. So you know it. And I think a lot of respect comes back from you in that way too. But a lot of promoters, I find too, just want to get their face out there. And at the end of the day, that's important. But you guys, how you do things, it's interesting because it's similar to other organizations, but there's a total difference. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. There's just a stigma, like a difference around the events. Yeah. They're super exciting. And I think that's why, because there's going to be a finish. That it's like a guaranteed thing. Yeah,
it's funny you said it, because the team, the marketing team, the PR team is like, you got to brand yourself more. And I'm like, maybe I do, but it's not about me. It's about the fighters. And that's the whole big thing about it. It's all about the fighters. And I'm sorry about that noise. I can't turn it off.
No worries. I thought I just about had a stroke.
It's all about the fighters, because the fighters are giving them the great show. And, if they get to know me in the meantime, that's great. Great for me, great for everybody. But at the same time, it's all about the fighters. And that's all that really matters.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. In action and exciting. And at the end of the day, you're going to get way more respect like that for sure. And you can tell, man. Just I've spoke to people like Jason Knight and a few other guys about it, like Chris Leben and other athletes that are just over the moon with how it's going. I think, like you said, the sky's the limit, man. Coming up to Canada would be, it's a thing that's our commission would be more than okay with doing it. It's just, we just got to do it through a commission, and they're open in January. So good to go.
There you go. Let's get it done, man.
There you go.
We have a really good Canadian audience, so I think we would do tremendous up there.
I'll tell you, that's what I was saying. Shout out to Fusion CBD Products, another great supporter of yours. I think it would be so you could legit go across the country. You could just do events all across the country. It would be great to see the best from all countries, or 10 countries battle on road. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I would love it. I mean, we're getting so much international interest right now. We actually just signed a really, really, really good fighter, a bare knuckle fighter from England. So we're really excited to make that announcement. It's gonna run some waves. It's gonna be great. No, but I love that idea, and that's actually something that we didn't talk about doing like a round robin. We talked about more doing like USA versus UK, or USA versus Russia, and then build into maybe something like that. But yeah, great idea.
It is a great idea. Good work, Anthony. He runs a great podcast, the Ringside Network up in Ontario. Those guys are great guys. What's typical day like? I know we're running out of time. I don't want to hold you too much. You got to call in another 10 minutes. What's typical day? I know my days are crazy, but I can only imagine your day would be 1,000
You know,
times
one thing
crazier.
I make sure that we do every morning is we work out. And I have my team here, and it started out with just me, and my son is my director of operations. He's just honestly, and not because he's my son, he's the best. He's
Awesome.
unbelievable at this. But now we have a marketing director, we have a PR guy, we have a character development guy. They're not allowed to work if they don't come and work out in the morning. It's just, it gets you going. And they love it now. So we work out every morning. We come in here really early, work out every morning. We're at our desk by 8 a.m. And, we do meetings. We take a lot of phone calls. We try not to do too many phone calls, because what I see is a lot of people spend too much time planning and not enough time executing.
Yeah.
So trying to execute and get it done, although you have to plan, because without a plan, you're going to fail. So, we do that. The thing we're really busy now where we're going to be doing one tryout a month. We're going to be doing one smaller bare knuckle show called Total Line Fight Series a month. And then we're going to do one bare knuckle fight a month. So, 3 weekends out of the year, we're going to be traveling.
Huge.
A month, we're going to be traveling. And then, just doing whatever it takes to get this thing going. And we're doing it. We have two really good fighters that are on the verge of signing any day that I think
Awesome.
are going to be like, wow, like they did with Paige Van Zandt. They're going to be like, really? They got him? But what we're trying to do is, we had some great meetings, and we just thought it was Jeff Lott. That's my man. We thought
he's a good guy, good promoter, man.
Yep. We thought it was great. It was great. Great time to take this step up. And so we're doing it two ways. We're bringing in some bigger names, and we are also doing the Total Line Fight Series and the tryouts, where we're building up our own talent. And in 2 or 3 years from now, they can be the stars of bare knuckle.
Hard to believe how far but again, it's when you're obsessed with something, when you work hard at something, like this is what happens, right? Like you just keep working, you can't outwork you, right? Like that's what I always say about our promotions. Like you just can't outwork me. I'm just going to keep working.
At the same time, which I'm just trying to learn, it's hard, but you got to take time for your life too, man. The work you get obsessed with it, and you lose everything else around you. And I'm not sitting here saying I lost this, I didn't, I didn't. But I'm sure if I keep working at the speed I'm going to work and don't spend the time, I'm going to. But so I try to focus on personal life as much as I can, and that's what we work out. We do everything that we have to do personally, and everybody's kind of like a little family here, and that's what Paige Van Zandt said when she wanted to come in. Wanted to come in, someone that was like a family and a real good atmosphere, and everybody really likes each other. We gel very well, and we're here to get to the goal, man. And the goal is just to be, mentioned and talked about and be in the mainstream. And I think we're almost there.
Definitely are. You definitely are, man. And it's funny you mentioned that about family, because I say the same thing. And it's in because you like Paige Van Zandt, like she's come from a huge corporate company, and now you guys are a huge corporate company, but a different level of a corporate company right now, right? And
you're not going to hurt my feelings. We're nowhere near them, but the thing is, we're different, and we're growing at a faster speed than they ever grew. So we are doing that, but we're not even nearly close to where they are. But and that's the moon or the stars or whatever they want to say. We're shooting for that, and all a little short. We did something great.
Yeah, I think so too. You don't have a lot of Canadians on your roster at all, do you?
I did, and I started talking to a lot, and then we actually were planning on bringing a lot over, and then COVID happened. But I've got a lot of Canadians that are reaching out now. Bobby Gunn, if you know Bobby Gunn.
Yep.
Canadian.
And heavyweight, right? You heavyweight?
Yeah. Well, he was cruiserweight, and I think he fought heavyweight too. But he's actually Canadian boxing champion. And then he came over. He fought bare knuckle. We have a lot of guys from Canada that are reaching out, and we're definitely going to start pulling some over here as soon as these the borders open up and everything's safe.
Nice. Yeah, that's huge. I think, like you say, it's a force to be reckoned with, Dave. So, what do you got? Probably 5 minutes? Not even.
No, I got 5 minutes. Definitely. Okay. I got about 8 minutes. I just got to jump in.
Yeah. All right. For anybody who's looking to get noticed by Bare Knuckle FC, it's an important question that, like, I talk to fighters all the time. Like, oh, how can I get noticed? I'm like, sell me some tickets. That's how you get noticed. I want action. I want you to sell me some tickets. Like, this is a business.
That's the thing. Like, so we're doing a tryout this Saturday in right outside Kansas City, and we're looking, we say we're looking for the next big thing, but I'm not going to this one because I have some other stuff to do. But my main matchmaker, Nate Shook, is going, and Chris Leven's going. Chris Leven now works for the company as
awesome.
He's one of our guys now, so he's going to go out there and scout some talent and see what we have. But I tell these guys, like, a lot of guys can fight, a lot of guys can put on great fights. That's great. What makes somebody want to tune in to see you? Besides that, you can fight. What's your story? Thanks, Jared. And I appreciate the support, brother. What's why? What's your why? Because if someone has a real why, like I'm fighting because my son's in a wheelchair and I'm trying to get him to walk, that's the dream. But something like that, they're going to fight more and they're going to make people want to watch them more. They're going to want to follow their story. So we're looking for stories. We're looking for, we're looking for everything that we have, the fighting and absolutely the story. And because if you don't have both, I don't think people really, really want to see it.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, people can all fight, but it's a story that's going to captivate them. Adam Braidwood, it's a big boy. You know who Adam Braidwood is? I'm sure you do. No, he's a big. I don't know. Jeff will let me know. I believe he's definitely a heavyweight, and he's a champion in a couple different organizations in Canada too. But it's funny. A question I wanted to ask you about your family. Like, I know you're a family guy. You have a few kids, and that's what it's funny. I was talking about getting obsessed. It's like, how do you divide your time? Like, how do you keep it all?
It's tough. There's like the guy I just mentioned, Nate Shook. Like this Monday, I took a half a day off, and he's like, I'm like, I gotta be in here. He's like, Dave. He's like, I got it. You're good. My son's like, Dad, I got it. You're good. Relax. Come in at 2:00. You're fine. So what it is just really surrounding yourself with the people that you can trust. I trust these guys to pick up if I drop something. They're going to pick it up and they're going to run with it. And at the end of the day, like my wife says a lot. She goes, "Why don't you turn your phone off? Quit answering your phone." She goes, "You're a doctor? You're a doctor? Someone going to die?" And I'm like, "Okay, babe, turn the phone off and put it away." So, it's funny, but I mean, the main thing is we just try to, you try to separate it. At the end of the day, though, you're obsessed with. I'm obsessed with not success. I'm obsessed with making this successful. And with that being said, I obviously put on as much time as I can and work as hard as I can. And everybody around me knows that if and when this thing gets to that level, that everybody's going to be really happy they supported it.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't agree more. I think it's fantastic. I think you're what combat sports needs, Dave. Like humble, good people who work hard with no ego and just want the best for the sport. And at the same time, you're a businessman who knows what the sport needs and knows how to run a damn good business. So, Ryan Rozicki would be a damn good fit. There's another guy. He's a cruiserweight Canadian champion up here, boxer, super talented guy. Yeah, He's a heavyweight, Adam Braidwood. Yeah,
wow. 13 knockouts and 14 wins. Yeah.
Big boy. Yeah, they're all. There you go. They're all. I'm sure Jeff will reach out to you with that. But if you need any help with any of that stuff, just shoot me a message.
No, definitely. We're going to talk later about that. I appreciate it very much. I just do want to give a shout out to the app, the Bare Knuckle TV app. That's where a lot of our stuff is going to be living on right now. A lot of our live fights. We do have a deal with DAZN. We're going to be doing that as well. We have some other big networks reaching out to us right now, so we're talking about that as well. Huge. It's been an exciting time for us. We have a reality show in the works right now with Netflix. So we have a lot of big things that are popping for us that I'm very happy about. But download that Bare Knuckle TV app. It has all of our shoulder programming, all of our content, all of our interviews, our trips to Cancun, everything that we did, and every single live event that we've had in the past and that we're doing in the future right now will live on the Bare Knuckle TV app.
Huge.
It's a great thing. We're going to control our own destiny and just keep working hard.
Massive. Well, I'd like to give you a 5-minute break between the podcasts. So I really want to thank you. We're super honored for you joining us here, and hopefully we can get you on again to talk. And we'll definitely follow up after this about hopefully we can get Bare Knuckle FC up here in Canada and keep doing what you're doing, man. You're a great guy.
And appreciate it. Thanks for everybody viewing, all your fans, man. I love it. I love all the Canadian love that we do get, because when we did our pay-per-view, we got a lot of really great numbers up in Canada. So keep supporting, keep watching, and we're going to keep delivering great fights to you guys. But thanks so much, Derek. I appreciate it, and definitely talk soon.
Awesome. Huge. Thanks so much. Much respect. David Feldman, folks, Bare Knuckle FC president and CEO. Fantastic. Super honored to have him. He's jumping on another podcast right quick. So fantastic to join us. And it's something that we've spoke about a little bit in the past about getting Bare Knuckle FC up here. You know, there's lots of promoters that do want to come to Canada, and they've been contacting us. And him and I are, we've been in contact a bit about this. And I think that it's something that can work out in the future. So who knows? Maybe Bare Knuckle FC might make its way to Canada in 2021. Fingers crossed. Again, a quick shout out to our sponsors. Make sure you give them a follow. Make sure you give us a follow, a like, and a share on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is. It makes a huge difference when you can support and share our stuff. It goes a long way as well. Again, thanks to our sponsors, MBI Sport and Fusion CBD products for this episode, MBISportMMA.com and FusionCBDProducts.com as well. Pay attention to our grappling show coming up October 24th. We're going to have 16 men, brown and black belts from the Maritimes, and a few from across Canada will be coming here and competing for a huge grand prize, our championship ring, MBI's coffee supply for a year, and a belt. It's going to be a fantastic event, so make sure you tune in for that on pay-per-view October 24th. We will be back with FLA 2 January 2021. Until then, folks, we'll be back tomorrow during the day. We got Brett Beaton, a local boxer from Nova Scotia, super talented boxer, and also Ryan Rohovich, an MMA fighter from Saskatoon, who was supposed to be our main event, got stuck in the goddamn snow and didn't make it. So we'll hear from him, enjoy that story, and go from there. All right, folks, have a wonderful night. Thanks for tuning in. Lots of love, and of course, we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. As always, thanks to our sponsors, Conway Customs and Tinting, Beat It Sports Shot, Team MBI Sport, Maritime Madness, Old Road Barbecue, Datsu Sarah, BC Kimonos, Ruddy Lad Premium T-Shirts, Dragon Energy, Privateer, Harley Davidson. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll catch you next